Welcome, Wargamers, to another Mid-Sussex YouTube channel video. I'm Chris, and today I'm doing another Build Me an Army Worthy Of. And a few of you have voted, and it's Harad that you wanted to see next. And so, here they are in front of you. Start off, Harad. They never really appealed to me when they when they first came out. Around Return of the King, we first saw Haradrim Warriors. Yeah, they look cool, but I was always more of a good player until I got back into the hobby and saw that they had some really cool characters, some cool special rules, and just in general, when you have a full army on the table, look really cool. And they're not too expensive to put together either. So, where better to begin than the first two characters in the Harad army list, and that is the two Wraiths. And I would pretty much always start with these two if I'm building around 750 points, which most of these videos I normally do. I'd go for these two in my army. Both have quite different roles, although they are both spellcasters. They're both mediocre spellcasters, but that's not predominantly what they're there for. So let's start off with the Knight of Umbar, shall we? So the Knight of Umbar, he is unique in that he has 3 might, which no other race has. Move him out of the way. And he is the combat race. He nullifies the losing a point of will in a fight rule, if he wins the fight, of course, which he's never worse off in a fight, because he has a very cool special rule called Combat Mimicry, which means if he charges into, say, Glorfindel, he can go, right, I'm going to take your fight 7, I'm going to take your 3 attacks. Very good. So then he matches Glorfindel immediately. But combine that with either putting him on a horse, like so, or like you can see in the background here, put this up, or on a fell beast, he then becomes very, very, very dangerous. So yeah, he would be the alternative for me for putting in like Suladan or another combatty hero, because Harad don't have a fight 6, 3 attack, 3 wound, 3 might, 3 all, 3 fate kind of character, 3's in all the right places character. So the Knight of Umbar fills that job very well, and being combined with being a spellcaster and able to mount him on a monstrous mount is very, very dangerous, because you can transfix said Glorfindel and then charge him with your fell beast and still nick his fight 7 and 3 attacks. And then, because if you're on a monster, you get +1 and the +1 to your dice, and then knocked to the ground and everything. So that is good fun, and he's quite easy to use, easier than other races. You don't have to be as careful with him, because he is a very good fighter. So on to the Betrayer, who operates quite differently. He's there to help amplify the special rule the Harad have, which is if you have sort of, say, pure Harad, so the basic troops, so like the African Guard, I just said basic troops, but the Watchers Arcana, which aren't the basic troops, they're more elites, so African Guard, Watchers Arcana and Haradrim Warriors, if you have purely them, then you can have 50% bows, which will come onto the troops in a minute, and as to why 50% bows for Harad is good. Now, Harad has some cool special rules in that any 1s rolled, if you have poison blades or poison arrows, which the majority of the army do, the Watchers Arcana do, and the Haradrim Warriors do, you get to re-roll 1s for wounding, which is very good. However, if you have the Betrayer in the vicinity, within 6 inches, you can re-roll 1s and 2s, which doesn't sound like a lot for an expensive Wraith, but when you've got 12 to 24 shots, re-rolling 1s and 2s, there's going to be a lot of re-rolls in there. A good couple of turn, and that could make the difference between taking out your enemy leader or a couple extra guys. to make the difference. So yeah, he's an average caster. I'd always put him on horse just to give him that extra range. I think he casts Compel and Transfix on the same value, 4 up I think. And he's got Sap Will and everything else, same as the same as the other race. So he's an okay caster, but he's there sort of to buff you at the start of the game, shoot your opponent down, get lots of wounds in, and then he can pick on the weak stuff. And combined with a second caster in the Knight of Umbar, it's very deadly. So the Betrayer could cast first, take the will off the opponent, so it's picking on Glorfindel again. So the Betrayer casts Transfix on Glorfindel, Glorfindel resists, he's got less will now. It's easier for the Knight of Umbar than to try and transfix him and then charge into him, or whatever. So yeah, these two wraiths I would take, they're very good, they're two of the best names wraiths, along with Kamul and the Shadow Lord. So yeah, I really like these guys. That's the Betrayer and the Knight of Umbar, who, the Betrayer I would always, oh this is interesting, something that I've discussed many a time, which one do you put on the Fellbeast? Because a lot of people, and logic would suggest, and I'd probably go for it as well, put the Knight of Umbar on the Fellbeast because he's better in combat, so you get more out of him on the Fellbeast, and then put the Betrayer on the horse just to get more mobility and range of magic. However, you could then maximise your combat potential by putting the Betrayer on the Fellbeast, because that would still be devastating, and have the Knight of Umbar on a horse, because that is also really good. I've used the Knight of Umbar on horse several times, and he can still do a lot of damage, having them knocked to the ground and everything. So really it's your choice what you're going for. If you want that one big combat killer, Knight of Umbar on Fellbeast. However, if you want two that are pretty good at taking out whatever they want to, then I'd probably go Betrayer on Fellbeast actually, because then his area of effect, his 6-inch bubble is bigger base, and put the Knight of Umbar on horse because he can still do a lot of damage charging. Or put them both on Fellbeast. Why not? So, on to my next hero, who I've only used the once, and I haven't actually painted him up yet. And he's quite rare, quite hard to get hold of. It's Dalamire, Fleet Master of Umbar. Now this guy is really cool. I haven't even stuck him together properly yet, but this isn't showcasing my painting ability, this is telling you how I build my army. So Dalamire is basically a Hasharan. So should we do the Hasharan first actually? Let's do the Hasharan first. So the Hasharan, he is Fight 5, Strength 4, Defense 4, 3 attacks, 2 wounds, Courage 4, 1 Might, 1 Will, 3 Fate, along those lines. I've got the book next to me, I don't know why I'm looking at it, never mind. He can never be trapped while he's standing, that's cool. He counts as wearing an Elven Cloak, that's cool, and he re-rolls all failed to wound rolls, that's really cool. Having 3 attacks and re-rolling all of them, that's cool. And he gets throwing daggers and a blowpipe. Or does he just get throwing daggers? No, he definitely has throwing daggers. So yeah, he is a proper assassin. He lurks at the back, sort of far away from your opponent as possible, behind the lines, and then use a wraith such as the Betrayer or Knight of Umbar. Compel your opponent's leader out, and the Hasharan just goes in there, 3 attacks, Fight 5. Always going to be a high fight value if the opponent's been transfixed. Maybe trap him with some other guys in there, and if you've then got 6 attacks, re-rolling all of them, that hero's probably going to die in one fell swoop. It's not going to be pretty. So yeah, that's what he does. He pretty much just waits and waits and waits, and then goes in and kills the leader. He's a good troop killer as well, 3 attacks, never being able to be trapped, so his defense 4 isn't as bad, but yeah, so he's quite difficult to use actually. It's very tempting to throw. Who's got 3 attacks? Just throw him in. No, you wait and wait and wait until the right time, and then take out your opponent's leader and get lots of VPs on the board. So yeah, that's what the Hasharan does, and Dalamire is exactly the same. However, he has a special rule where he has smoke bombs. He has a 3 upshoot value, 4+ obviously moves or charges in. He throws at his target. If it hits the target and doesn't wound, bear in mind you get to re-roll the wound as well, because he gets the Bane of Kings, and doesn't wound, the opposing target then has to expend a point of will or suffer the effects of transfix. That is an incredible rule. So they're either, so say you hit, it's 50-50 if you moved. So 1 in 2 chance hitting. Not only you could do a wound, but also if you don't, it doesn't matter. They're going to then be transfixed. And with this guy charging in with 3 attacks, re-rolling all of them to wound, you're probably going to do alright. And then combine it with either 1 or 2 wraiths who also have transfix, who have probably already got rid of your opponent's will. Yeah, it's pretty deadly. So you'd often start the turn with charging Dalamire in, throw your smoke bomb. If you wound, fantastic. If you don't, doesn't matter. They still have to expend a point of will or be transfixed, so they're going to at least be a will point down, which makes it easier for these 2 guys to then transfix said hero. So this army that I'm building for Harad is really around getting rid of the opponent's big heroes quick and then overwhelming them with numbers in my force. Sorry, there's noise outside, it's distracting me. Yeah, so getting rid of your opponent's big heroes quick and then getting onto the troops, which should be easier to deal with without your opponent's heroes around. So yeah, that's really what they do. The only downfall to Dalamire is he only has 1 might, and if he rolls a 1 with his smoke bomb, he runs out of supplies and can't use the smoke bomb anymore. So in the game that I practiced with him in, I saved his might point for when he did roll a 1 to might it up to a 2 so he could keep them, and that's what I did, and he kept it. And then the next turn he threw a smoke bomb at Arathorn, which then got him transfixed, and Dalamire was able to kill him. So yeah, might be worth trying that. It's also worth having him with a Taskmaster as well, having 1 might, the same as the Hasharin. So then you might be able to keep on to that, you might be able to hold on to that might point for longer. So yeah, they would be my first 4 main heroes. And also, I have to be careful I haven't stuck them together properly yet, is the Golden King. This guy is cool. I love this guy. He looks cool. I can't wait to get painted up. Literally sprayed him yesterday morning, so he's properly dry now. Hence why I haven't stuck him together properly yet, because when I went to pick him off the tray, he came apart. Never mind. Yeah, he's only 5'4", strength 4, defense 4 or 5, but he's got 4 attacks and 4 wounds. I guess 2 for him and 2 for his buddies helping, and he also counts as a banner, which is cool, and doesn't get the -1, but he does get +1 to wound as well. That's cool. Yeah, he has he's quite expensive, but he has an incredible special rule. Not only does he get 4 attacks, he also has this special ability where he can bribe your opponent's heroes. And I played a game with him against Sam a while ago, and in 1 turn, basically what happens is Sam was broken. He had elves. He rolled for Haldir, scored a 4, no will points left, so he passed. Because Haldir's courage 6, passed his courage test. Golden King, it spends 1 will point to decrease Sam's score by 1, meaning Haldir runs away. And then Galadriel, I think, rolls a double 1 and goes, I'm going, and obviously that would make her run away, but she's got her free will point, and I think she had a couple will left as well to bump it up, and I said, no, I'm using all 5 will. Bye bye Galadriel. And bribed her off the board, and that was Sam's leader gun. So he is really, really good for that, making heroes run away on Standfast. You don't even have to kill them. So if you haven't got them yet, by use of Dalamire and a Fellbeast in the back here, or whatever means you've been trying, you can then perhaps sap their will, drain their courage, and then make them run away with the Golden King in the endgame. Which with this army you could potentially break your army, the opponent, pretty quickly as well, if you concentrate on that. this army is really, you can either go for the break, go for the general juggernaut, or however you want to play it. But how you will break your opponent pretty quickly is with, not necessarily with the heroes, because they are good anti-heroes, is with the troops. And that the main ones would be these guys. They are relatively cheap. 6 points, I think, because they're a regular man model. They have a 4-up shoot value, strength 3, defense 4, 1 attack, 1 wound, courage 3, generic man profile. However, you can upgrade them for 2 points to have a 3+ shoot value, which, is it 2 points or 1 point? I think it is 2 points, which is worth it. When you have so many of them, it's worth it. And re-rolling 1s to wound as well. And if you have this guy within 6 inches, re-rolling 1s and 2s, you're going to do a lot of damage. You're going to kill stuff when you have a lot of arrows firing at your opponent. Even if they have high defense stuff with the re-rolls, you're going to get something. So I'd always upgrade these to have 3+ shoot value. And because you can have up to 50% of these, if you've got an army of, I don't know, 48 or so, 4 warbands, yeah, having 24 shots, it's a lot. So yeah, and then I'd always back them up with the generic spearmen, no upgrades for them, and then just have a long line of Harad bowmen in front, the Harad spearmen behind, and then perhaps to have the Golden King sort of just behind the line, giving them a banner reroll, so then your line of still chaff has still got 3 attacks to win a fight, with wraiths and assassins sort of lurking around to pick up any holes that might show up in your lines. So yeah, that's the chaff warriors. On to the more elite ones. Oh, also to note, if I'm taking the Golden King, I probably won't take a generic banner bearer. It could be worth having for to the death if you know you're going to be playing that or something, but this is probably one of the few armies that I may not bother with the banner bearer. Yeah, so onto the elite troops, one of them being the African Guard, which is the same as the one, I'm going to take Golden King off a sec, same as the one carrying the Golden King there. They are fight 4, they are strength. I'm going to look up the book for this one, 2 secs. Sorry about this, got it. Yep, fight 4, strength 4, however defense 4, 1 attack, 1 wound, courage 3, but they do have a special rule, chop. They have a 2-handed weapon, but they don't get -1 for wielding it, they get +1 to wound, which is cool. So if you were to back them up with troops, they get 2 attacks to win the fight, and then one of your dice gets +1 to wound as well. Very cool. So yeah, they're relatively expensive for a man model. They're okay. I'd definitely take a handful of them. I wouldn't spam these guys because I think they're too many points. It would be too many points eventually, and then would not give you enough numbers. But I'd put 6 or so in my army. So yeah, there's the African Guard, and the one that everybody fears when there's a lot of them taken is the Watcher of Kana. Now here's why everyone fears them. They are fight 4, with the 3+ shoot value, strength 3, defense 4, 2 attacks, 1 wound, courage 3. But not only that, you can give them both 1 point, so then they are into the double figures. Not only that, they're resistant to magic. Why? They have poisoned arrows, so combined with the Betrayer, and they receive a +2 bonus to their courage for charging terror-causing enemies. I don't know why that's a rule, but it is. And all that for literally just 10 points. But yeah, fight 4, 2 attacks. That is incredible, and they can shoot with the re-rolling 1s and 2s. So you can see why people are scared of these, and if you have like 24 of them in your army, I'd take 6. Just because they're good, but I don't want the reason I win to be because I've got loads of Watch Arcana. I want it to be because I played the army well. But I got a few in there because they're good. And to be fair, the models do look pretty cool. So yeah, that is pretty much what I'd be taking in a Harad force. I'd definitely take Dalamire and the 2 Wraiths as my first choices, and if I was going for more points, I'd then add in probably the Golden King first and then the Hasharin, because then otherwise you'd have 2 Hasharins in the same army, which might be a bit much. I definitely put one of the Wraiths at least on the Fell Beast, and the other one on a horse. Unless I was going all out, then I'd have both on a horse. And then I'd have a warband of these guys, a warband of the spearmen, a handful of these, and a handful of the watchers. So yeah, that would be my Harad. That would be my tactics for the Harad as well. So yeah, don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Follow our blog, like us on Facebook, and vote in the top corner of which army you'd like to see next.